In this video, we're going to look at a lesson from second class. So this is Unit 10, Edition 2. When I have a look at the student's book and on the first page of the week, I can see what the goal of the lesson is from the lesson focus down the bottom of the page. So today's aim is to choose efficient strategies to solve addition problems without renaming. I can see the slides that I need, slides 10.1, and I can see the resources that are needed. And there's an assessment tool, a smiley face assessment tool that can be filled in at the end of the lesson, which is a nice way for the children to reflect on their learning and to reflect on how they got on with the particular lesson. The starting point for every lesson with Maths My Way will be the slides, the teaching slides. And these slides, when you open up your ebook on folensonline.ie, the link to the slides will be there for you. So it's really easy to find. You're not searching around on the website for ages. So your starting point is the teaching slides, and that has the same information that you saw at the bottom of the page in the pupil's book. So we have our title, our focus, our resources, and our strand and our strand unit. When I'm moving through the slides, I'm going to be pressing the play button, and we always recommend that the slides are used in full screen. Just makes everything as big as it possibly can be and gets rid of any other distractions that are on your screen for the children. So as I start off, I click the play button, and here you'll see the same visual that was used in the children's books. The beauty of the slides is that it allows us to enter into the lesson at a slower pace than we can with just a book. So here you can see the visual that we have at the top of the book. We've explained that you can trade tickets for these prizes at the arcade, and we have a lovely open question, just what do you notice? So this is a chance for the children to get really enthused by the context of the lesson, to get that maths talk going, to use their maths eyes, to look at the different numbers, to look at the different items that are for sale, and to really start to think about the context. So for example, some child might mention that you need 20 more tickets to get the frisbee than you do to get the marbles. This is a good chance as well to use think, pair, share, where the children are getting a chance to think first of all, then to talk to each other, and then to share back to the whole class. We have further prompts on the slide. So when I click the play button, it brings up which prize do you need the most tickets to get, and which prize do you need the fewest tickets to get. And this might have come up when the children were talking about what do you notice, but it's just there as a prompt in case it didn't. It's also a nice chance to help the children create that maths identity, where that when this question comes up, you say, oh yes, we've already spoke about this question, and this is something that Rebecca mentioned earlier, that the bear is the item that requires the most tickets. It requires, you need 99 tickets to trade for the bear. On the next slide, then, we further break down the context to really help the children get a good understanding of what's going to be involved in this lesson. What's the problem asking them to do, and what information do they have? And you see that with our top tip in the yellow box. What do we know, and what do we want to find out? So here, like in the student book, the amount of tickets each child got is presented in a table, but the visuals here and the way we've broken it down really helps to scaffold the context of the problem, and to really help the children understand what's being asked of them. So we see that Noah won 43 tickets, Mia won 51. They put their tickets together to get a bigger prize. How many tickets do they have in total? So they're being asked to combine the two numbers. And very importantly, for the new maths curriculum, they're being asked to use more than one method to find the answer. So mathematical modeling and children thinking about numbers, using number sense to play with numbers, to find the best ways to combine them, to find different ways to combine them. It's so important, and they're being encouraged to do so here. Our maths talk then with this slide is for them to discuss how did they solve the answer. So it's trying to move away from that idea of what's the answer and working towards how did you get your answer as being even more important than what the answer is. After the children have explored some of their ways, we then have two examples of different methods that could have been used to combine these totals. And we use our Maths My Way characters, Bolt and Brains, to illustrate these. As you go through each one, a lovely question to ask the class would be, did anyone solve the problem in a way that was similar to what Bolt did? Did anyone think about it in a similar way? And same with Brains afterwards. And to really try and draw out how did the children combine the numbers themselves. So here you'll see that Bolt's method was to make the numbers friendlier. So 51 is made friendlier by moving one of the ones over to the 43 to make. It's all detailed with visual animations and explained with the numbers to try and make it really clear for the children. Again, that's the value of having our teaching slides, that we can include these animations that are impossible in just a book. And you'll also see a link to a Polypad that comes up to explore more examples with the children. So if I can click on the link and it'll bring me through to Amplify Polypad screen that's pre-populated with the resources that are most suitable for this lesson. So I might ask the children, I might make 21 here, and I might make 33 over here. And I might ask the children, how could I, if I was solving this problem using Bolt's method, how could I do it? How could I make these numbers friendlier? And hopefully the children would say that, oh, well, we could take 1 from 21 and bring it over to 34. And then that will make it easier to add the numbers together. So there's huge scope that the digital resources you need for your lesson are there for you. So you're not searching for websites or trying to use Dean's blocks under a visualizer or trying to draw them on the screen. They're there for you to make it as easy as possible to explore multiple examples with your class. Then we have Brains method, and Brains method is all about partitioning each number into its tens and its ones. And then recombining or adding the tens, adding the ones, and then recombining the tens and the ones together. So in total here we have 90 tens and we have 4 ones, and combined that is 94. And the visuals are there to step through it with your class. And you have, again, the link to the Polypad to explore more examples. After that scaffolding, so after working through, really going through the context with the children, exploring the different methods that they came up with and exploring the method that Bolt and Brain suggested, then we get on to the activity in the book. So you see here that there's a blue border around the activity, and we see the book symbol and page 60, and that's the sign that this is from the book and it can be completed there. The same text from the book is on the slide, so that again you're not flicking between the ebook and the slides, or you're not working with a visualizer, just to make everything there ready for you. And we have a top tip for the children saying, try using Bolt's or Brain's mental method. They're also encouraged to use their own methods, but it's just there as a refresher or a reminder for children who might find it difficult to get started. And our maths talk, again focusing on how the children solve the problem, explain the methods you use to work out your answers. And that might be the children revoicing Bolt's method or revoicing Brain's method, but it's about them using maths language, using maths talk to really explain what's going on. Then on the next screen, we move on to activity C, and again, we have Maths Talk top tip and a link to our Polypad manipulatives. At the end of every lesson, there's an extension activity. And this makes sure that every child in our class is challenged appropriately. So they're there on the slides to further support children and to support you, so that your extension activities are there on the slides rather than having to go and search for more activities elsewhere.